Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Hello to all of our Upward Bound and Talent Search students watching, and to all of our other viewers today. What's poppin', as they say, Armel? Quan is in the building as well. Good to see you both here. We appreciate you. We appreciate the support, and we appreciate all of our students tuning in to the You Are College Bound show today. I'm Brady Ferguson, Senior Academic Advisor with our pre-college programs of the David T. Kern Center at the University of Rochester, and that includes Upward Bound and Talent Search. And of course, for all of our Upward Bound and Talent Search students, you are college bound, and you are in the right place if you're watching our show today. So let's get things started. First, go ahead and drop your name in the chat. Armel and Jaquan, I see you already. I appreciate your dedication to our program and your consistent attendance and participation. Let's see if any other students are here yet. If not, hopefully they are on their way. But yes, you can drop your name in the chat to get attendance credit for participating in the You Are College Bound show today. You can also text it to 585-301-4488, or you can email it to upwardbound@ur.rochester.edu. That's upwardbound@ur.rochester.edu. So 3 ways you get your 15 college bound points. That's all you got to do. Just send us your full name, please, first and last, so we can give you credit. We want to give you those points, but just give us your name. So that's the first thing. Next, we also want you to participate on social media. So the hashtag is URTrioWorks. Feel free to post about the show on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook, and at the end of the show, if we see any particularly strong posts from you, or interesting, entertaining posts, we will share those at the end of the show. Last week we had a little Instagram story someone shared, so feel free to post, and just make sure to hashtag it with URTrioWorks so that we can find it easily. All right, so I did mention that you get 15 college bound points for attending the You Are College Bound show, but that is not the only way to earn college bound points. Our virtual programming has been up and running now since April, and there are plenty of opportunities to earn those college bound points. We have our UR Success Academy Tuesday and Thursday afternoon, 3 to 5 p.m. That's on Zoom. Of course, we have our show every Friday, 4 to 5. We have our weekly advising meetings. Please make sure that you're responding when your advisor texts you or calls you or messages you. And then we have some clubs going as well. Art Club on Monday evenings, 8 to 10 p.m. That's on Instagram Live. Follow us there at UR_collegebound. We also have Coding Club a couple Saturdays a month from 2 to 3 p.m. Now, that is not tomorrow, but we'll have our next Coding Club the following week. In between the Coding Club meetings, which are 2 Saturdays a month, we have modules, new Coding Club modules every week that you can work on. So there's always coding to do, earn some college bound points there. And then, of course, we have the book club. We just finished our first book, which was the 57 Bus. Now you get a week off before we start our next book, which is Stamped, voted for by you, our students. So it's not too late to get in on the book club. So let your advisor know, or let Catherine know if you're interested in book club. As you see, plenty of different ways to earn college bound points, and with those points you can qualify for different incentives. We are already working on plans for college trips in the fall or in the winter, whenever we are allowed to start traveling again. Of course, we do have to wait to get the okay, because better safe than sorry, and we do still have a pandemic going on, so we put safety first. But there will be trips, and the points that you earn now will count toward those trips. But we also have some other incentives you can earn in the more short term. Before I tell you about that, who else we got here? Lark Squad, Shamil, I believe that is in the building. Marifer, one of our staff members, is here. And look at this, McKenna is here. McKenna, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoy the show today, and we put together, Marifer and Felicia put together some great content for you today. So please stay tuned in, and I think you will learn some beneficial information here. Let me go back to what I was saying about the points. There are some more Yes, it is Shamil. Okay. Thank you for confirming, Shamil. You will get your 15 college-bound points. You too, McKenna. But don't leave. Stay. Stay. We got some good stuff coming up. Now, as I was saying about the points, let me show you our point standings for the month of April. And I'll just hide behind the billboard here. But we broke it down by grade level, and you can find yourself on here. Or if you're not on here, then you really need to work on getting those points up. But for those 4, or actually 5 top grade level points earners, because we had a tie with the 12th graders, they each got to choose from a few different incentives just this past week. So the first choice was getting some food from Grubhub, where we can order some food and get it delivered right to your house. That's one choice. But we also added a couple other options, one being the Finders Seekers STEM Mystery Kit, which one of our students chose that, and she's excited to be getting that in the mail soon. And a couple of students also chose this game console, which we ordered for them, and that should be coming in the mail soon. So those are the 3 options, and we'll see. We may add something new to the mix for May, or it may be those same 3 options again, but there will be something for those top points earners in the month of May. We're about halfway through the month now, so you still have plenty of time left to earn more points for the month of May. Now, if you look in these standings here, we only had one student, and that was Sharon Matthews, who earned over 100 points. So let's give a round of applause for Sharon. A nice job. Sharon has hit that 100-point benchmark, so that means that she has earned the new latest edition Upward Bound shirt. Here it is. Yeah, I can't reveal what it's going to look like yet, but it will be a different color version than you've gotten before. So I can't reveal it yet, but it will look good. And you need to earn 100 college-bound points to get that shirt. So regardless of whether you're the winner for your cohort, you can get that shirt just by hitting that 100-point mark. So keep working on getting those points. Our Director for Diversity and STEM, Danielle Daniels, is also tuned in. And she wanted to mention that the game consoles can be used to play your coding club games. For those who don't know, our students in coding club are designing their own video game, and with the console you can play your own video game. How cool would that be? I wish I knew how to do that. Maybe one day one of our coding club students can show me that. A final announcement for today is that AP exams have started already. This is the last day of AP exams this week, but there are 5 more days of AP exams next week. For students who don't know, AP are advanced placement courses, and if you score high enough on the exam, which is meant to be a college level exam, if you score high enough, you can actually earn college credit for taking an AP course. While you're still in high school, all you have to do is take an exam. Now, although some exams and tests have been canceled this year, like Regents exams and SAT, the AP exams are still taking place, and students are taking those at home. They're doing at-home testing for that online. So for all those students who took the U.S. history test today, Spanish literature yesterday, English literature earlier this week, we hope it went well, and we want to wish students good luck next week with those other exams they have coming up, like English language, Spanish language, world history. We even have some 10th graders taking that exam next week. So good luck, and we hope you are studying and preparing, and we hope you can get some college credit out of that. So that wraps up our news and announcements for today. The next segment of our show will be our alum interview. And we're happy that today, or really excited, I should say, to be hosting our first Monroe alum on the UR College Bound show. And I'll bring her on now. She graduated from Monroe back in 2017, currently a student at SUNY Geneseo, actually just finished up her 3rd year at SUNY Geneseo today, and she'll be graduating from there 1 year from now in 2021. So let's welcome Amanda Lara Sosa.
Hi.
And I see the audience is going wild. Amanda, thank you for joining us today. How are things going for you this semester, and with with it all finishing up today, with exams ending today. How have things gone for you?
Pretty good. I think I ended my semester strong, so I'm happy about that.
All right, well, glad to hear you're able to end the semester strong, despite I'm sure there were challenges with the COVID-19 crisis and everything connected to that, but glad to hear that you finished strong. So today we're going to be talking a lot about majors on our show. So let me ask you, what is your current major and why did you choose it?
My major right now is Spanish with adolescence education, and I chose it because I wanted and I still want to be a teacher, but I wasn't sure what to choose as my subject to teach. But since I speak Spanish, I thought this could be my strongest subject that I could teach any students because it's my native language and I'll be able to be teaching the best I can.
Got it. Well, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
sounds good. Now, what I've seen, or in my experience, a lot of students go into college with a certain major in mind, but then they end up changing it. And some students go in undecided, and then they end up figuring it out. And then some even change after that, which is okay. But I'd like to ask you, did you have a different major in mind when you first started college, or have you made any changes in your major as you've gone along?
Yeah, I started as an English major and I've changed it a couple times. I started as English, then I switched to geology with adolescence education as well. And then I also even tried math, but not as like a sure major. And then I'm in Spanish now, but I've changed my major a lot. And
Okay, so you made a few
yeah.
switches then. And now, have there been any challenges that have presented themselves because of switching majors? Has that set you back at all or slowed you down in your process of making progress toward your degree?
Well, I had to take mostly all of my gen eds, my requirements, before I started my new major because I wasn't sure about what I wanted to study. And then after I started Spanish, I found myself taking even 4 Spanish classes every semester. And although I speak the language, it is still challenging for me.
Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see. Let me ask this. You've mentioned adolescent education. Is
Mm-hmm.
that something you plan to do in the future, or what are your future plans, and how do they relate to your current major and the degree you're pursuing?
Well, my major is Spanish, but I also take education courses that help me to get a teaching certificate to be able to teach in middle schools or high schools in New York State. Yeah.
Okay, so when you graduate next year, are you going to have you'll have both your bachelor's degree as well as a teaching certificate that will let you teach in New York State?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Now, will you need a master's degree or any type of further education after you complete your bachelor's and get your certification in order to continue in the teaching field?
Yes, I will need a master's of education in any field, but I have to have it completed between 5 years after I graduate. So by 2021, 5 years after that. So until 2026, I have to complete a master's of education to be able to teach in New York State. That is only New York State, I believe.
Okay. So you would be able to start working as a teacher in New York State next year, but you would have 5 years within which you would need to complete that master's degree in order to continue teaching beyond the 5 years. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you keep mentioning New York State, and for those that don't know, there are different teaching certification requirements in different states. But is the plan, Amanda, to stay in New York State to teach here, or do you have any certain locations in mind as far as cities or places where you'd like to teach?
Well, I am looking for grad schools outside of New York as well. Mainly in places like, well, New York City, and Boston or like the east side. No, I don't want to go to any other side of the U.S.
Okay, so looking to stay on the East Coast or the east side of the U.S.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Now, I see a comment here I'm going to mention. Kevon says, "We miss you, Amanda." And she also
Oh.
says, and Amanda spent her summer with UB getting teaching experience and making sure this was the right career for her. Or that's what we expect happens, but you have worked with us in the past during the summer. Can you talk about how that experience working with Upward Bound has impacted you wanting to do teaching?
Well, I had chosen to do teaching before I started working with Upward Bound, but I think working with the students really helped me to understand what actually teaching, helping to teach a lesson will be like when I go into teaching. Like when I used to teach College 101 with Gina and Cabs last summer, and it was a really fun time, and I really learned a lot from teaching experience.
Got it. Glad that was fun. Now I want to go back and ask you a question about something you mentioned previously, but to those watching, feel free to drop any questions you have for Amanda in the chat, and she will do her best to answer them, I'm sure. But students, anyone or any of our viewers today, feel free to drop any question you have for Amanda in the chat, and I can relay that to her. But while you're thinking of questions, I do want to go back to something you mentioned before, which was Gen Ed requirements. For college students, that's just part of the lingo, but for our high school students, they might not know that yet. Can you just explain what that means? What are Gen Ed requirements?
Yeah, in my school, which is a liberal arts college, we have to take some classes that include science. So you have to take 2 science classes with labs, and then you also have to take history, world history, and U.S. history, also math, and I don't remember the other ones. Oh, humanities and something else, but it's to ensure that you have not just background knowledge on your major classes, but also in other sectors of the education field as well, like any other majors.
Okay, so these are required classes or types of classes that all students have to take regardless of major, and it's meant to give them a more well-rounded education. Would that be a good way to describe it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. Well, let me ask this. Do you have, we talked enough about majors, but let me ask about this. Do you have any minors or extracurricular activities that are preparing you for your future career or connected in some way?
Yes, I have a minor in art history, and I'm actually planning on pursuing my master's degree related more with art history than with Spanish or education, because I feel like I want to change a little bit what I'm doing right now. And with that art history, I want to be able to see if I can work maybe in a museum or anything else that can, it is still kind of related with education, but I just like art and want to have something like that in my future as well.
Okay, got it. So art history, your minor, and pursuing that for your future as well. Okay, great. Now you mentioned already a couple times master's degree, and so you have to go to grad school or graduate school. So for our high school students, it's almost like starting the whole college application process all over again. Whereas a college student, you are applying to a graduate school, although some of the steps and the procedures are different. But Amanda, let me ask, and I know you're still early in the process, but so far, how is that process going of looking for grad schools, and do you have any specific graduate schools you're looking at and planning to apply to already?
Um, I've looked a lot because I first wanted to go more on the education side than in the art history or any other side. But every time I have any free time, I usually go and look for grad school programs Right now, I'm looking at schools in Boston mostly, like Boston University, Tufts, and also schools like Columbia University in New York City, and but I'm still open to more choices, and I will not be applying to those schools until the fall semester, so this October, November this year. So I still want to keep looking and see what else I can find.
Okay, got it. There's a chance we will be taking a trip to visit colleges in Boston later this year or maybe next spring with Upward Bound students. We were hoping to go this summer, but no travel this summer. But we're hoping to go sometime in the future. And we actually did go in the past, back in 2015. I'm sorry you did not get to go on that trip, Amanda, because you're not yet part of our program at that point. So sorry you missed out. But maybe our paths will cross in Boston again if we end up there at the same time. Well, I don't see any questions from students in the chat right now, Amanda, but I have one more, and we'll see if anyone comes up with something before it's time to move on. Then we may have a student question, but I have one more for you either way. So my question, Amanda, because today's episode is specifically for 10th graders, if you can think back to when you were in 10th grade, what advice would you give yourself knowing what you do now? And it could be specifically related to school, but it could be just general advice.
Well, when I was in 10th grade, I was new in my school in Monroe and new in the country. So it was a completely different experience than what most of the upper bound students in 10th grade have now. But if I were to go back, I will think to tell myself that just be more outgoing, talk to people more, live in the moment, and just enjoy the time of high school that really goes quickly, and keep working hard in classes as well, because college applications are coming soon, and it's important to also be prepared for that.
Great. Well, it sounds like great advice. Keep working hard. Try to be more outgoing and talk to different people and enjoy your time in high school. So we appreciate that. Our high school students, I hope you were listening to that. Great advice. And Amanda, thank you for joining us today. Congratulations on completing your third year of college, and best of luck.
Thank you.
So there's our student audience going wild there. So that was great. We got to have Amanda on the show, but now it's time to keep moving. So next up, I'm going to bring on one of our staff members. She's one of our academic advisors, works mainly at East High School, but of course she is here to advise and support all of our Upward Bound and Talent Search students, and that's Marifer Acosta. So I'm going to bring her on now. Here she is. Marifer, how are you doing today?
Hi, Brady. I'm doing well. Hi, everyone.
All right, so Marifer, I know you have some important information to share with students through a little activity, so
Yes.
I will turn it over to you.
Okay. So today we're going to play a little game, college related, of course, because all our games are college related mostly. And basically, we're going to be asking our students, whoever's tuning in, if they can guess what college the current celebrity that I'm going to show graduated from and what they majored in. So the first celebrity is Ludacris. So again, we're guessing what school they went to, as in college, and what they majored in. So the options are: A, Ludacris went to South Carolina Technical College and majored in music technology. B, Georgia State University and majored in music management. C, University of Georgia and majored in accounting. D, Florence Darlington Technical College and majored in audio engineering. So we're gonna give a little bit of time for the students to guess. You can put it in the comment section. Do you have any guesses, Brady? Or anyone?
Hmm. Um. Well, I know, or I think I know, he's from Atlanta. So that would make me think somewhere in Atlanta, but not sure. I don't know this one.
Okay, so the answer, you were around the ballpark, I guess. The answer is B. Ludacris went to Georgia State University and he majored in music management. That's a really interesting. So the next artist we're gonna show is the love of my life, my personal favorite artist, J. Cole. So J. Cole, you have to guess again on what college he went to and what he majored in. The choices are A. St. Edward's University and majored in English literature, St. Joseph's University and majored in broadcast journalism, C. St. John's University and majored in communications and business, D. St. Louis University and majored in creative writing. Okay, so let's give some time for people in the comment section. Kevon or anyone. Again, this is very near and dear to my heart because it's J. Cole. So the answer is C. J. Cole went to St. John's University and majored in communications and business. And now he's the best rapper out there. That's just my opinion though. Don't at me, as they say. Okay, this one, Miss Savage. I don't know if you guys know her, but Megan Thee Stallion. Again, we're guessing what college she went to and what she majored in. The choices are A. University of Texas at Austin and majored in communications. B. Texas A&M and majored in sports management. C. Texas Southern University and majored in health administration. And D. University of Houston and majored in business administration. Where did the Stallion, any guesses of where she went to school and what she majored in? Okay, the answer is C. Megan Thee Stallion went to Texas Southern University and majored in health administration, as she should, a queen. Next, we're guessing. Who said that? Let's not even. But okay. Okay, so the next person that we're guessing is Childish Gambino, what he majored in, and where he went to college. The choices are A. New York University and majored in dramatic writing. B. Columbia University and majored in English literature. C. Rutgers University and majored in journalism. Or D. Duke University and majored in theater. Any guesses? C. Is that the answer? False. Childish Gambino went to New York University and majored in dramatic writing. Again, as he should. Okay. Next, another favorite of mine, John Legend. Where did he go to college? And what did he major in? The choices are A. University of Florida, majored in anthropology. B. University of Michigan, majored in business administration and finance. C. University of Washington and majored in chemistry. Or D. University of Pennsylvania and majored in English and African American literature. Any guesses? Let's see.
I know this one, but I'm not going to guess.
Yes, you shouldn't guess.
Say because it wouldn't be a guess. I know it. All I'm going to say.
Okay, so the answer is University of Pennsylvania, D, and he majored in English and African American literature, as he should. Okay, so another celebrity that you may or may not know, and our final celebrity on the list is he is a host of a very popular show that goes live on YouTube on Fridays at 4 p.m. It's a Brady Ferguson, yes. Yes, he is a star. Okay. And we're guessing what he majored in and what college he went to. And the choices are A, Drexel University and majored in education. B, University of Pennsylvania and majored in East Asian Studies. C, Nazareth College and majored in education. Or D, University at Buffalo and majored in East Asian Studies. What are your guesses for your favorite college bound show host? These are you because a lot of the times we think we know a person because we know what they do, but that may not necessarily be what they studied. Because you can go a lot from undergrad, you can go branch out and do a lot. So the answer for oh, let's see. Well, my choices are not showing, but the answer is B, University of Pennsylvania, and Brady majored in East Asian Studies. And now that Brady's here, Brady, you want to tell us a little bit about your major in college and why you decided to do what you're doing today?
Sure, I would love to. And nice job, Armel. Good looking out. Thank you for knowing that. Hopefully that wasn't just a lucky guess, but I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure you remembered from when I've talked about it. But yes, back at UPenn, I met a guy named John Legend and taught him how to play the piano and sing. No, actually, he's a little bit older than me, so we were not there at the same time. But same school. I majored in East Asian Studies, not piano. And East Asian Studies was actually an interdisciplinary major because it wasn't just one field, but it included various fields like language. I learned the Japanese language there. It included some history, some sociology, film classes. So there were a variety of classes, but all focused on East Asia and three countries in particular, which were Japan, Korea, and China. And I was also fortunate in college to get to go study in Japan for 3 months, and that fit right in with my major. So I enjoyed studying it, and for those of you who didn't know, now you know a little something more about me. And I guess that's the last one, huh, Marifer?
Yes, it is. Thank you so much for playing. I hope you learned something new about some of your favorite artists or some of my favorite artists, however you want to put it. But yes, and the point was to show you guys that just because you major in something in undergrad doesn't mean that you can't do something different, can't change your mind, you can't study something different in grad school or get a professional degree in something different. Undergrad, I think, is just the beginning of an amazing life, I think. And it just goes to show, like, I majored in psychology, and I'm thinking of doing business for my master's. So you can change your mind, you can major in business or whatever it is, and then become an artist. Like, you don't know where life is going to take you, but it's always good to be prepared.
All right, great. Well, thank you, Marifer, for joining us today. Thank you for doing that little quiz and sharing that information.
Of
And
course.
we'll see you again next time.
Bye, guys.
All right, so time to move on to everyone's favorite part of the show. I mean, as good as a little childish Gambino quiz was, I don't know if it can top SAT questions. So get ready to work to test your math knowledge, your English knowledge, and as you see here at the bottom of the screen, you can text your answer to 585-301-4488 or email it to upwardbound@ur.rochester.edu. If you get the question right, you get 5 college-bound points, but you have to get it right within the time limit. So 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Clock is starting. 2 minutes for the math question. That's more than you would normally get when you take the SAT. You actually only get about 1 minute 15 seconds per question. But we do have a delay with the live show here, so we'll give you a little extra time. Plus, instead of just filling out a bubble sheet, you got to write a text or an email. So 1 minute 30 seconds. Here's the question, and This is for the SAT math section, in which you are not allowed to use the calculator. And you shouldn't need it for this, although you may have to do a couple calculations. But the question is, what is the value of x? So take a look at the diagram here. We got some lines. We have a couple angles whose measures are written in there, and then we have x, where it says x degrees. That is the angle for which you have to figure out the value. What is the value of x? 1 minute. I'm going to take a look, see if anyone responds by text or by email. Let's see if anyone gets it today. A little geometry here. Maybe you have to do some algebra to figure it out. Go ahead, text it or email it once you think you have the answer. No penalty for a wrong answer, only 5 college-bound points for the right answer. Less than 30 seconds now. Clock is ticking. Less than 10 seconds now. Anyone going to get it? Anyone want to take a guess? Last chance to take a guess. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. Time is up. Let's see. Just seeing if anyone sent me anything. No, haven't got anything yet. So, I will show you the answer. If you look all the way over here at the bottom right of your screen, x equals 39 degrees. So 39 is the value of x. X equals 39. Any of those would be acceptable answers. There are a few steps to get there, and I will explain how we did that. First, if you look in the middle of the screen toward the top, you have to know 3 rules to be able to figure this out. So first, vertical angles have the same measure. So vertical angles, when you have the x, that's 2 angles across from each other. Those are vertical angles. They have the same measure. So 68 degrees, the angle across from that, on the inside of that triangle, would also be 68 degrees. Next rule, the sum of the measures of supplementary angles is 180 degrees. Now, supplementary angles are 2 angles that together form a line. So 107 degrees plus the angle next to that, the adjacent angle, they would add up to 180 degrees because those are supplementary. And the third rule you need to know is that the sum of angle measures in any triangle is 180 degrees. So now if you look at the bottom left of your screen, the first step, you see that vertical angle is 68 degrees. Second step in the middle, that adjacent angle to the 107 degree angle is 73, because 180 minus 107 equals 73. And then in the bottom right, you see the final step, that if you had x plus 68 plus 73, you get 180. Do a little calculation, and x equals 39. So there's your SAT math question for the day. Next up, it's time for some English, specifically writing. You get a little bit less time for the writing questions. I'm going to give you 1 minute 30 seconds, but when you take the SAT, it's really only about 47 seconds per question when you break it down. But a little extra time today because we have the delay and you need to email or text me the answer. I'm going to start the clock. 1 minute 30 seconds. This one is even multiple choice. So even if you're not sure, and this one's shouldn't be too hard. I think all of you should be able, or could get this one. But even if you're not sure, go ahead and take a guess. No penalty for the wrong answer. Text the answer to 585-301-4488, or you can email it to upwardbound@ur.rochester.edu. And if you get it right, you get 5 college-bound points. Nothing to risk, but you can get a reward out of it. So why not take a guess? If you haven't seen this type of question before, it's a writing question where there's a certain part of a passage or certain parts within a passage or paragraph that are underlined, or in this case we have them in blue, and you have to figure out if it should stay the same or if it should be changed. that's because there may be some type of grammatical error or something that needs to be fixed or improved on. So if you look, the last two words of this paragraph are their effects. The question, or you have to determine if there should be no change, and then the answer is A. If it should be changed to B, their effects, C, their effects, or D, their effects. They all sound the same, but the words are different. Jaquan said A. Any other ideas? 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. Let's see if Jaquan is right. Well, let me check. Actually, let me check, see if anyone texted me or emailed me. No. Well, let's see if Jaquan is right. Jaquan said A. Ding, 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 ding. Nice job, Jaquan. You got it. A is correct. A is the correct answer. So no change. I'll read the explanation here. This choice is the best answer because, contextually, their effects is the most appropriate choice to indicate that different factors could influence the manifestation of a person's genome. And if you see underneath me here, there are 3 different spellings of their, or 3 different ways to write what is pronounced as their, but in this case it's the first one, their, which refers to a person or people, whereas the second there refers to a place, and the third there means they are. So that's the difference between those. People make mistakes with there, and there a lot. People also make mistakes with effects and affects, but the answer is A. So Jaquan, nice job. Now to get some more SAT practice, because just doing 2 SAT questions a week or 2 SAT questions a month is not going to do a whole lot in the long term. I would suggest, or I would advise you to go to Khan Academy, where you can get free SAT practice. You can also earn yourself college-bound points. If you saw back when we were looking at the standings in points, Sharon Matthews had a big lead over everybody, and a big part of that was due to using Khan Academy. We'll give you 5 college-bound points for each hour you use Khan Academy during any given week, up to 2 hours per week, but you have to be in one of our classes. So some of you are already in one of our classes, but for the 10th graders, to join our class, you just go on Khan Academy. That's khanacademy.org. You can make a free account or just log in using your Google account. You can use your school Gmail address, log in that way. It's free, and then you just add our class code, or you join a class and put this code, GMKYASA6. Get some free SAT practice, and you can earn some college-bound points there. So a win-win situation. So that is our SAT, or those are our SAT questions for the day. Now moving on, I'm going to bring on next another one of our academic advisors. She works mainly at Wilson High School, and that's Felicia Heidemann. Felicia, welcome to the You Are College Bound Show. How are you doing today?
Hello, everyone.
All right, I won't waste any more time, Felicia. I'll turn it over to you and let you share some more important information with the students today.
All right, happy Friday, everyone. When we're talking about majors, we also want to talk about like little tips and strategies now that you are 10th graders, soon to be going to 11th grade. Start thinking about different majors that you would want to consider, or majors that you want to explore, but honestly, you might not even know about. So here are some 5 ways to start thinking about solidifying or narrowing down some of the majors you're interested in. And number 1, it's think about what you love. What are you excited to wake up and do? What makes you really happy? What do you mind not doing for hours and you're cool with it, you like it? When you work a job, you're going to be working, 8 hours a day, if not more, depending on your job. So you want to make sure that it's something that you genuinely enjoy and that you want to do, rather than like groaning and running late because you don't want to get out of bed. So you want to try to find something exciting. So even making a list of like 5 to 10 things about what you love, what you like to do, what makes you happy. That's a good place to start, because then as you're looking at majors, you can look for those keywords. Like if you really like art, you want to find something that makes sure there's art involved in some way. The second thing is to think about what have been some key experiences in your life. Like, what have you done that you're like, wow, I really like doing this, or this really sucks. Like, when I was in college, I was thinking about doing hospitality, which is like when you work at a restaurant or work in a hotel or you provide customer service to people. And I worked at a hotel, and I used that experience to realize I do not want to do this for the rest of my life. But I tried it, and I used it to guide me forward, and that led me to more of the education field. So think through what you've done that you liked, didn't like. Like, do you like babysitting? Do you like reading? Do you like reading statistics on sports and things like that? So think about what you've done that you have really enjoyed and what has been pretty important in your life. The other thing too is like create a self-portrait. So reflect a little bit and think about what you think you would really like to enjoy to do. Think about the things that are very important to you, to your values. If you're someone who really cares about the environment and that's a really big part of who you are, then maybe you want to look into environmental engineering. You want to look into conservation. Maybe it's biology, so you can learn more about living beings on the planet. All slightly different fields, but ultimately can help you with what you want to do and who you are as a person. Another thing to think about is be honest with yourself with what you're good at and what you're not so good at. I am not so good at math, so I don't know if I could ever do accounting. I'm sure if I worked really hard at it, I could figure it out and I could force myself. But ultimately, I know that it wouldn't make me happy, and I know that it's not my strongest skill set. So be honest with yourself, and maybe as you make those lists of the things that you really love, write down the things that you're good at and not so good at. And as you're looking through majors, go ahead and find out what ones fit those criteria. And then also explore what's out there. The example I like to use is with anthropology. You may or may not have heard about that major before. I don't know any high school classes that teach anthropology, but not only can you take a class in it in college, you can major in it and have a whole career. So there's careers out there that you might not have even heard of. As Brady mentioned with his career, it was interdisciplinary. So there are some things that don't have a title that you would really understand because it's made up of a lot of different components. So don't be afraid to look at some schools you're interested in and see what majors are there. If you click on the major, look at the classes that are offered, read the descriptions, see where their alumni have graduated to and where if they're in master's program, where they've gone, if they have a job, what they're doing. That's usually relatively easy to find on the page because colleges want to brag about and show off what their students are doing. And then you might go on and see, oh, that student went to law school, but they didn't major in political science. They did English, or they did a different major that I've never heard about. So really take the time to explore college websites, different career paths, talk to people about how they got to where they are, because you'll never know what is there, and there's a ton of different opportunities. And College Board, which is where I got a lot of this information from, also has this really cool list called 10 majors you may not have considered. So these 10 majors are all things that people just kind of gloss over. They don't even think about majoring in. So there's animation and special effects. If you like coding and design, but maybe it's not video games, you want to do more of like the visual cartoon creation things, there's a major that focuses on that. There's astronomy, criminology, entrepreneurial studies. If you know that you want to own your own business, go ahead and do that instead of maybe a general basic administration degree. Exercise science. So if you like sports, but maybe you don't want to do sports management or something, you want to maybe look into physical therapy. Food science. There's people who figure out what we eat, study what we eat, build new things for us to eat. Emergency management, homeland security, peace and conflict resolution, robotics, zoology. There's so many majors out there. And sometimes colleges will have very specific majors for their school that you might not have even heard of. Brockport has an Arts for Children major, which is all about using art integration for elementary education. So explore, research, read, talk to people about what they're doing. You cannot go wrong by just trying to learn about what opportunities are out there and what even exists, because it's probably more than any of us could ever know completely. So keep looking, keep reading, and keep searching.
Great. Thanks, Felicia, for sharing that. So next, what are we going to ask? What do you want to ask the students to do to build on what you talked about today?
Yeah. So your assignment for this College Bound Show episode is to use some of the strategies I just talked about to find a college major you think you want to study. You can either use some inspiration. So maybe you're like, I want to be the next J. Cole. So I'm going to also study communications and business and go from there. But I want to know, and Marifer and I both want to know, we want to know why you want to study this major. It can't just be a business because it sounds cool, but like, did you look at the classes? Do you have, like, are you really good at numbers and math? Are you good at talking to people? So use that time to reflect a little bit and then share with us why you would want to do that major. And you only have to write about one of them, but try to think through why it might be a really good fit for you.
All right. Well, great. Sounds like something great to work on. Should be an easy enough assignment to do. Only 3 to 4 sentences, so I think that should be doable for all of our students. But thank you, Felicia. Anything else you'd like to add today before you go?
No, that's it. Just, use your time and look things up. You can even, I'm sure, look up YouTube on people talking about their major and why they chose it. So keep asking, keep learning, and we can't wait to see y'all again.
All right, great. Well, thanks a lot, Felicia. We'll see you next time. And our live studio audience, a big round of applause for Felicia. Great. So thank you to all of our contributors today, Felicia, Marifer, Amanda. You shared some important knowledge with the students, and we hope that all of our students and all of our viewers learned something new today. There was enough information covered. Hopefully, you learned something new today. If you have any questions about anything that we discussed on the show today or about anything going on with Upward Bound, go ahead and drop it in the chat. We've talked about it before, but for those who don't know, our summer program is also going to be virtual this year because the University of Rochester is not opening the campus up to students this summer, and it's just because we're putting safety first and trying to continue practicing social distancing and trying to curb the spread of this pandemic. But it actually makes us excited because there are some opportunities for more interaction with other Upward Bound programs around the region, around the country, and we think being able to connect with other people virtually could lead to some new experiences that we can all benefit from. So that's about summer, but any questions that you have, students, go ahead, drop them in the chat now. Also, if you're just getting here, or if you forgot, drop your name in the chat, please, first and last, so we can give you a credit, so we can give you 15 College Bound points for attending today. For those of you who already checked in the chat, you're good. You'll get your 15 points. But anyone who wasn't here right at 4 o'clock, go ahead, drop your name in the chat. You can also email it or text it. The number to text to is 585-301-4488. Or you can email it to upwardbound@ur.rochester.edu. So 3 ways you can get your 15 College Bound points. Looks like we have a question in the chat. This is the time for any questions. But Mel asks, how many points for OG UB swag? Well, like I said before, to get that new Upward Bound T-shirt, you have to get at least 100, or you have to hit 100 points to get that, to reach that T-shirt level. And then as you keep going from there, once you hit 200, 300 points, we have some more swag you can earn, but I cannot reveal just yet what that is, whether it's the OG swag or whatever it is. But keep earning those points. You got to hit that first 100-point benchmark first. But with your participation in the show, Armel, you're getting close. Now, to get an additional 10 College Bound points, all you have to do is complete that assignment that Felicia mentioned. And I'll put it on the screen here again. But 3 to 4 sentences, that's all you got to write, and you can send it to me, Marifer, Felicia, any Upward Bound advisor, and you get 10 additional College Bound points just for doing that. If anyone did not watch the show live today and missed out on those 15 points for watching live, you can still get those 10 points for just writing a simple 3 to 4 sentences. And we ask you to do these assignments because it helps us know how much you learn from what we're trying to teach, but we think it would also help you with thinking about college and for planning for your future. So there is a reason for it, and we hope that you'll trust us on it and give it a try. But yes, the assignment, find a college major you want to study and write 3 to 4 sentences about why you're interested in it. Pretty simple. You can do it in 1 minute even. 5 minutes should be more than enough time. Just send a nice little email or even a text message to one of us. Or you could call us and tell us about it. It could be a verbal 3 to 4 sentences. I'll accept that too. Hopefully that's okay with Marifer and Felicia. But yes, that's the assignment. Any other questions? Go ahead, drop them in the chat now. We only have a few more minutes here. I just have a few more reminders. Like I said, if you don't watch this live, you can still watch the recording. It will be on our YouTube channel. If you have not yet done so, subscribe to our channel. That way you will be less likely to miss out on the content we'll be delivering there. We actually just added a new video earlier today, which is a little welcome message for our new Upward Bound students who will be attending their orientation and beginning their participation very soon. So if you're watching and you know of anyone who applied, they should have heard from us already as far as the application, as long as it was a complete application. But yes, that's some more news that we have. And as far as the show, next week, Friday, May 22nd, will be our 11th grade episode. The following week, Friday, May 29th, will be for 9th graders. And then for you 10th graders, your next show will be in June. Look at that, we're almost to June. Friday, June 5th will be our 10th grade, our next 10th grade episode of the You Are College Bound show. I don't see any more questions in the chat. So if something does come up, feel free to contact me, contact your Upward Bound advisor you usually go to, and we will do our best to get back to you. And we'll call it a wrap for this week on the You Are College Bound show. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good day and have a good weekend.